Straight up, I don't know where I'd be without hypnosis. It changed my life. It changed my life. I swear to you, I'm being 100% honest. I've been in the wellness space as a student and a practitioner for, oh God, I was young. At least 7 years. Does that make sense? I'm 28 now, 21, yeah, about 7, 8 years. And I started because I was introduced to meditation through a mentor and teacher of mine. I was introduced to meditation. That's when things changed for me. I was introduced to yoga and sound meditation. Then I started doing sound meditation for clients with like the singing bowls and stuff like that, and got really into the whole manifestation thing and energy and how that worked. But I would always, well, I don't know when it was, but I ran into hypnosis just on the internet with some like the major folks like the Paul McKenna's of the world and the Marissa Peers, and I became so just inspired and in awe about how effective it was, because I couldn't believe that, and this is beyond affirmations, like I couldn't believe that after listening to a hypnosis audio overnight for a few days at a time, that I literally started seeing myself differently. I started thinking differently. I started talking differently. And I knew that this was like I'm acting in accordance with it, like I'm playing a role, but the fact that I was inspired to play that role, to be more confident, that I could play that role to be a better salesperson when I was working a recruitment job, or I could play a better role to, like I was even inspired to play the role to be more disciplined. You play that role long enough, it becomes who you actually are. I played the role of being well-spoken. I play the role of being a consistent person, just an entrepreneur, a content creator. Like I played that role long enough, it became who I was, but I wouldn't even have been inspired to take that action if it wasn't for the hypnosis. So did it work? Obviously. I mean, I'm here, with over 100,000 followers on all my platforms, and a 5-figure a month hypnotherapy practice, building this digital education business. Like this is, it changed my life. It changed my life. And what took it and obviously I built a business out of it. And what took it even further was when I realized that I could hypnotize myself, the self-hypnosis piece. And that's really when I started to take life into my own hands, was when I realized that our words are hypnosis, our words are spells. And that's when everything changed for me, and that's when everything will change for you, when you start to realize that everything you say is a form of self-hypnosis. Your words are not observations, they are declarations. You are declaring what you want to see. We see what we want to see. And the moment I started speaking differently, I started speaking like the best version of myself. And that's when I started noticing all the different moments of luck happening in my life, on all the different moments of abundance happening in my life. And that's when I started getting lucky all the time, not because I wasn't before, but because I started noticing that. And what we notice, what we focus on, we amplify, not just energetically, but actually in our real 3D world. And if it wasn't for hypnosis and developing that level of understanding as to how magnetic our words are and how electric our thoughts are, I don't know where I'd be. I'd be leaving things up to chance, and I'd be on autopilot. Hypnosis also changed my life because it helped me understand that we are always being hypnotized. We are always being hypnotized, and people are under hypnosis right now. They don't realize it, but they're being hypnotized by these social media platforms, by the algorithms that are curated by the powers that be. You think you curate your own algorithm, you don't. Your algorithm is curated for you based on a certain person or a group of persons' agenda. Most people don't realize they're being hypnotized, and so the question is, who's casting the hypnosis? Who's casting the dream? Is it you or is it them? And when I realized that, and naturally I started to cast my own hypnosis by curating my own algorithms, by programming my own mind intentionally, by intentionally listening to the content that's going to keep me in line and keep me on the path with who I want to become. Well, then everything started changing for me faster and faster and faster. And yes, life still falls apart. Yes, bad things still happen, but I perceive those moments a lot differently. I understand that that is just a setup for the comeback. It's a setup for success, that the lows feed the highs. The highs prepare you for the lows, and the lows prepare you for the highs. And so it doesn't seem all that bad anymore, right? It doesn't seem all that bad anymore. When I moved out, and I, maxed out my credit cards and all these things, like those moments used to terrify me before. And then when they started to happen down the road out of survival and necessity, because I had gone through the hypnosis and shifted my perception of what those things mean, it became less destructive in its nature. And I started to bounce out of those moments a lot faster because it didn't take me out of what really mattered, which was the work and the work that I'm doing on myself. What matters most right now is the work you're doing on yourself. And hypnosis will keep you in that perspective, because to shift realities is to shift your perspective. To shift your perspective is to shift your reality. And the fastest way to shift your perspective on anything, but particularly yourself, is hypnosis. I hope that makes sense. And that is why I felt compelled to offer that, to do that as a profession, to help people shift their perceptions. Like, that became my profession. Tongue twister. I wanted to provide the same kind of transformation for other people as I did for myself. And I love what I do because people get results. And I can tell people get their results by how differently they show up into the world. Because I know that if they show up differently and they're a different person in the way they think and the way they think about the world and they think about themselves, the results will come naturally. That's not a question. That's not a question. I'm fine as long as I see them showing up differently, then I'm more than confident that they'll get whatever results that they're trying to get. Because they're showing up differently, they're speaking differently, and they hold themselves accountable to declare that even the moments of turbulence are happening for them and not to them. It's all a part of the process. And it's hard to keep that in perspective when it's happening to you, but hypnosis allows you to zoom out and say, you know what, I'm the director of this play we call life. And when you remember that you're in the director's seat, and that whatever it will be, that act of letting go allows all the good things, all the luck and all the blessings to start pouring into you and start happening for you. I'll end that video here, and on that note, hit the like button. See you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.